Many moons ago, this song was used as a World Cup theme when the World Cup was staged in South Korea and Japan. And I was lucky enough to attend a game in South Korea and heard this music played before the game. And I said, wow, that's a toe tapper there. I'd like to have that. And they put it out on a CD. And you could listen to all the music from World Cup. And it was a great CD. I still have it because the music came from all around the world. And some of it was, I think Jennifer Lopez had a hit on there, Let's Get Loud. And this one, too, had everybody in the stands rocking there in South Korea. What an experience that was, too. It was fascinating because everybody was in the stadium before the game, and there was one big block of empty seats, like a perfect square in the middle near the top. And the last people to come in to fill all those seats were security officials, police officers. And they were all in uniform, and they had nightsticks, and they meant business. And they filed in, you know, like a procession, so that there was very clear to everyone that these people were there for a reason, and they made a big show of their entrance so that nobody would get out of hand. It was a lot of fun. Roger Faulkner, the soccer expert and good friend of ours, a senior soccer advisor for Triple Sports and Entertainment's on the other end of our line. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning to you. I never knew you went to South Korea.
Yeah, that was a gas,
Kept that
man.
quiet.
That was something else. And if you'll remember, in that World Cup, South Korea went quite far.
Yes, they did. They did very well. Did very well. However, the U.S. in that one, I think, went to the what did they get to? The quarterfinals.
Yeah,
very well.
It was England, Germany, I think, near the end. The details get a little fuzzy because of the soju, but it was a good experience, to say the least.
Sure.
Now, you had a good experience at Ford Field the other day. The men's U.S. team beat Canada 2-0. That sounds like a pretty good showing from the Yanks.
Well, it was. They played a very tough schedule this year. They played Uruguay, Chile, Argentina, and then they've been crushed by Spain, who are the world champions. They beat them 4-0 last Saturday. So that when they came in for this tournament, it was important that they were now shooting at their weight or playing at their weight or boxing at their weight, so that they get a good result. And they did. They played Canada, and they had the best guns out there, and they got a couple of nice goals from Dempsey and Altidore, and played well. But it was nice to see 28,000 people at Ford Field on a 92-degree Tuesday night, and it was a terrific evening.
And they play on that grass that's kind of like grass. It's not the old AstroTurf. It's a bit thicker and more like real grass anyway, huh?
No, this was real grass.
Oh, it was?
And there were a lot of complaints about it. They brought it in from New Jersey, and they put a plastic sheet down over the actual field turf in Ford Field, and then they laid the turf just in strips, but with very little sod underneath it. And the players complained the ball didn't bounce sufficiently high and was very hard on the legs. So they'll have to rethink that if they do another game that way at Ford Field.
Might they have been better off with just the field turf?
They played some games on field turf in this Gold Cup tournament, which is this is part of the Gold Cup tournament.
Yeah.
And but the big games they always try to play on natural grass. But when we did the game in the Silverdome, we had 6 inches of dirt between the concrete and then the sod that we put down, so that there was a padding effect, if you like, underneath the grass, which was much more satisfactory.
And everybody remembers Michigan State's role, of course, in that. At the Silverdome. The tournament final, June 25th, at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. That'll be a beautiful setting. And you sent some audio to our audio director, Tony Cuthbert. It's a highlight clip from a soccer match. Which teams were these?
I have no idea.
Tony picked it up somewhere else then, maybe. Here's the reason why, as a broadcaster, you have to love soccer.
La pelota por arriba. Estados Unidos ya la puso al ras. La juega por abajo. Donovan, va a venir el servicio de Altidore buscando a Agudelo. El cierre, gol. Dempsey. Gol, 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 gol. Clint Dempsey. 2-0. Cómodo, fácil. Gana Estados Unidos.
Well, my Spanish is good enough to know he's describing a goal by Dempsey, but other than that, I have no idea. But maybe I assume it's Dempsey's goal from Tuesday night. The game was televised and probably televised by the Spanish network as well as Fox.
It's pretty good. I got the words goal and amigo at the end.
Yes, he was pretty excited.
I guess. When does the U.S. play next?
They play in Tampa on Saturday night against Panama. These are the opening rounds, and then they play Guadalupe in Kansas City on June 14th. And the tough teams in this group that we'll see in the quarterfinals, assuming we get there, are teams like Mexico and Costa Rica, Honduras, and there'll be some tough games, and hopefully it'll be a U.S.-Mexico final, which is always very special.
Yeah, well, the big news, of course, is that you had, what did you say, 28,000 people at Ford Field, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was a great attendance, great atmosphere. Everybody was, in their colors and faces painted and flags over their shoulders, and it was a terrific atmosphere, absolutely terrific. And a lot of Canadians there, too, of course.
Oh, I would think so. Thank you very much. Good to hear your voice again. We'll keep in touch.
Always good to talk to you, sir. Take care.
Roger Faulkner, the soccer expert for the state of Michigan, was instrumental in bringing the World Cup here all those years ago. We'll get you the full sports story. Here's Jennifer Lopez from that World Cup in Japan and South Korea. I had a gas at that thing. It was a lot of fun and gave me a new appreciation for what soccer and the golden goal is all about.